Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hi everyone. I hope all of you are doing good. So a very warm welcome to the orientation session of strategic business reporting with the platform of Escribir Academy. So very specific. You people are live here because you are business students. So business, it's all about business. So with this subject, assume that your role as an accountant. So very specific, develop your mindset. Why you people are here as an accountant. So what the role of the accountant with any particular business? So first, the point is that the role of the accountant is to identify the transaction. Once identified, the accountant role is to record that transaction and report that transaction. So identify the transaction, recording of transaction, reporting of the transaction according to the accounting standard. And that is what the prerequisite that you have already studied with financial accounting subject and financial reporting. So this is the mindset you people must have. So now the advanced subject called strategic business reporting. So students, once again, very warm welcome with the subject strategic business reporting. I am Hussain Qazi, facilitator for the subject FM, AFM and SBR, having 18 years of facilitation experience for ACCA qualification, specialized with the subjects of SBR, AFM, FM as mentioned previously, senior faculty member at the Barney School of Accountancy and also at Escribir Academy. Alhamdulillah, student associated with me got multiple times prize winners locally and internationally, means Pakistan and outside the Pakistan as well. ACCA invited me multiple times for the exam focus session, not in Pakistan, outside the Pakistan as well, international, with an international platform as well. You can contact me or the Escribir team anytime, any official time for my courses. So students, I'm going to start this particular session with my soft message to you people. For any project of the life, if you really wanted to get success, 4 components are important. 4 components, although SBR is also a project. So 4 components are very much important. Number 1, the self-confidence. You must be confident that, yes, I can do that. Number 2, daring. Do it. Do or die. That's important. Huh? So strong confidence, self-confidence, daring. Avoid negativity. Be positive. Avoid all negativity. Be positive and must have to make a very disciplined strategic plan how to execute the course. So for any part of the life, if you want to get success, these 4 variables are important. Must be confident, daring, positive mindset and well disciplined. So for this strategic business SBR strategic business reporting course with Hussain Qazi, I will provide you support to develop your confidence, to maintain the confidence, to get the success of the SBR exam, and definitely I will try my best to support you to develop the positive mindset, and you have to maintain that discipline, by the way. That's important. So agenda point for this complete live session. Agenda point. There are 6 agenda points of this complete live session. Number 1, SBR, syllabus insight and examiner expectations. Do remember, 3 things are important for the success of SBR exam. Number 1, 100% of the syllabus knowledge. Number 1, entire syllabus knowledge. Number 2, exam techniques. Both are important. If you have a knowledge but don't have exam technique, not able to qualify exam. And if you have exam technique capability but not 100% knowledge, still not able to qualify exam. And the number 3 components is your self-efforts in terms of assignments and mocks. 3 variables are important for the success of the exam. So number 1, what the inside of the syllabus, we will cover that point. Number 2, what the exam format with the new changes, and what should be the study approach of SBR. What are the real challenges? We will discuss here what are the real challenges normally students face and how to overcome that challenge. Furthermore, how to execute the course with Hussain Qazi. That's the SBR journey with Hussain Qazi. And the frequently asked questions. You can ask the question with me on the live session, but also I will cover the point, the frequently asked question normally student ask. So let's start. First we will cover the 3 points, first 3 points, and then the point number 4, 5, 6. So first 3 points. Number 1, I'm sorry, SBR syllabus. So fingertips, there are 5 syllabus areas. There are 5 syllabus areas of the SBR. Number 1, knowledge and application of IFRS, accounting standard. Number 2, knowledge and application of conceptual framework. Number 3, ethical implications, ethics with SBR. Yes, ethics also exists here. Although starting it with the AA, F4, law, audit, but still important here. That's ethics with SBR. Number 4, performance measurement. Performance measurement. It's not about the ratios interpretation. It's something else. Number 5, current development. So 5 things: IFRS, conceptual framework, ethical implications, performance measurement, and current development. Now, what are the details? Number 1, the first point, SBR syllabus. SBR syllabus. It's not only about accounting standard. It's not only about accounting standard. If you have a mindset that with the previous subject of the F7, you studied, the accounting standard. This subject name is not advanced accounting standards. This subject name is not advanced financial reporting standards. This subject name is strategic business reporting, which means syllabus includes accounting standard plus 4 more things. So that's why here mentioned with the slide, SBR syllabus is not only about accounting standards. So these are the 5 points. Do remember point number 1 and point number 2 of the syllabus area. It's about accounting standard, yes, but 3 more topics that is other than accounting standard. So students, in very simple word, you have studied TX. The advanced name of the TX is ATX. You studied the subject AA. The advanced level is AAA, Advanced Audit Assurance. You studied FM. The advanced name of FM is Advanced Financial Management. You studied PM. The advanced name is Advanced Performance Measurement. You studied FR as well, but the subject name is not AFR. So there should be some reason. The subject name is Strategic Business Reporting. This is not only about advanced accounting standard. So that means the syllabus includes more than accounting standard. So first of all, very focused, very precise. If you are going to start the sessions, there are actually 5 components of syllabus, 2 of the syllabus areas belongs to accounting standard, 3 are other than accounting standards. What insights we will cover later. Now, so what are the syllabus inside and details? Sir, what accounting standards? What accounting standards we will cover here? I have divided the accounting standard into 4 phases. Phase number 1, group accounts. Phase number 2, extensive accounting standard. Phase number 3, less extensive accounting standard. And phase number 4, prior knowledge accounting standard. So that is what the checklist you can use here. Phase 1, group accounts. Group accounts having this 6 topics. 6 topics. What inside the topic? That will cover with the details of the lectures. But number 1, group accounts consist of 6 topics. Number 2, phase 2, other than the group accounts, other accounting standards, other than group accounts, I have split it into 3 more phases. Phase number 2, extensive accounting standard. Extensive accounting standard means these are the accounting standards which are most complicated and most time consuming. And still, paper relevance also exists with respect to these standards. That is financial instrument, very extensive, very technical, taxation, employee benefits, share-based payments, leasing, and IFRS 15 revenue. Some of the standards you have some prior knowledge like IFRS 16, IFRS 15, financial instrument, taxation, but employee benefit and share-based payment you never studied with your earlier studies. These are extensive accounting standards. Phase 3, less extensive accounting standards. These 6 standards are less extensive accounting standards. Even you can cover all 6 accounting standards maximum by 5 to 6 hours. Total 5 to 6 hours. So that's the point. And phase number 4, prior knowledge accounting standard. Prior knowledge accounting standards. So the list of prior knowledge accounting standard based on 12 accounting standards. Sir, these prior knowledge accounting standard, number 1 from IS 16 till IS 12. Till IS 12. So sir, these accounting standards having relevance with that particular, with the SBR studies, relevance with SBR studies, I must say here, all accounting standard having equal weightage, equal importance. With the language Urdu, कोई भी accounting standard छोटा नहीं होता. Means nothing, any of, you cannot underestimate any of the accounting standard. All accounting standard having their importance with the exam. Do you know that at one time 2019-20 examiner examined IS 38 with 12 to 15 marks. 12 to 15 marks means IS 38 plus conceptual framework. 12 to 15 marks. IS 36, it's about 11 marks already examined. So how can I say that these prior knowledge having no importance? So this is what 4 phases of the accounting standards. Number 2, what's the examiner expectation about the accounting standard? What's the examiner expectation about the accounting standard? Examiner expect from your side that not only able to calculate but also develop the abilities. Number 1, drafting of the knowledge of accounting standard. Number 2, drafting of the application of the accounting standard. And explanation of the working, whatever you do with the accounting standards. So here examiner expectation is that explanation of the accounting principles with applications. Explain principles and calculations. So here more things about drafting. So candidates will have to demonstrate a range of skill and abilities which include relating accounting issues to the relevant concept. So here examiner expect that you must have to demonstrate ability that yes, I know the principle, I can explain the principle, I can explain the workings as well. Believe me, if you feel right now that, sir, it's very difficult, no. The difficult only to start. Once you start the things in this manner, you will really enjoy the lectures. You will really enjoy the studies. That's the point. So that is about all accounting standard, examiner expectations. That is called application of accounting standard where with the real business scenarios. That's a point. Number 2, conceptual framework. The conceptual framework newly developed, updated with 2018, and examiner expect that with the conceptual framework, whatever the chapters means contents with respect to qualitative characters of the financial statement mentioned with 2018, with the revised version, you must have an ability. You must have to develop an ability not only about the knowledge but also the application. So knowledge of conceptual framework and application of the conceptual framework, both are important. Here examining team particularly mentioned that to pass this exam, candidates require our in-depth knowledge of conceptual framework, knowledge and application. By the way, this is what a screenshot of examiner document. This is not my statement. This is examiner document. I just take a screenshot and paste here. So this is what examiner expectation. Let's say a September 2018 question. Here September 2018 question. And question is about IAS 38 intangible assets. And this is connect with IAS 38, read it, outline the criteria in IAS 38 intangible asset for the recognition of an intangible and discuss whether these are consistent with the conceptual framework. So that is what the examiner examine the conceptual framework, integrate the things. Once again, if you have never studied the conceptual framework in a serious manner, don't worry. We will cover here with the knowledge and the application as well. But the important thing is that the soft element, self-confidence. If you enroll with my course, I will support to develop the confidence. I will motivate it. Confidence, number one, first thing. Daring, yes, I have to do this. Number 3, what you should do, avoid negativity. Just avoid. Whenever you feel any negative aspects in your work, in your mind, do contact me. We just talk with each other. And last one, must be very much disciplined. If you commit that, weekly I have to invest 12 hours for the studies, 15 hours studies with the weekend and the combination of the weekdays. You have to very much discipline. You have to invest your time with the disciplined manner. That's important. So let's start. Third one is ethics. Ethics with the SBR exam. Everybody knows that what are the ethical principles. We are not right now discussing. The code of principles or code of ethics, it's mentioned with the ACCA document, all these things, objectivity, integrity, all these things. And with any scenario, there are some threats which affect to the codes, principles. For example, self-interest. That's threat. So all these are the same. But here, ethics integrated with the accounting issues. So here, examiner expect that you have a good knowledge of the fundamental principles. You people already have. And you have a good command with the scenario to identify the threats and affect to the fundamental principles. Application are important. Here the expertise required applications. For example, if you are a junior accountant and you're appointed in a company, I am a finance director, and you observe that I deliberately manipulate some accounting transactions and enforce you to do that in this manner what I am saying. Even accounting standards is not exactly mentioning the thing in a right manner, to manipulate the profit and all these things. And you observe that point, that something is doing wrong with respect to self-interest of the company, of the finance director. So what you should do? So first thing is that examiner expect that you have, whatever the issue identify, you must have a good knowledge what should be the right treatment of the accounting standard. What is going wrong with respect to the accounting treatment? First thing, accounting. Number two, whatever the scenario is, for example, finance director threatening you or finance director doing this wrong activity for the manipulation of profit for self-interest, you need to identify the ethical issue, and with this ethical issue, with that particular ethical issue, you have to develop the case that what are the threats here, what threats, how threats impact to the principles, and what should be the action point with respect to junior accountant. So this is one basic example I shared with you, but these are the matters, these are the aspects that need to cover with different areas of the syllabus areas. That is the ethics. Sample question that's mentioned here. For example, part A is something about accounting standard. That is something revenue. For example, that is something about the revenue. That is accounting standard. But part B is about ethical issues for the finance director. Mr. Betshaw setting out how issues may be resolved. That's 10 marks. So actually ethics integrate with the accounting issues here. Okay, next point. Performance measurement. Performance measurement. Number one, the term performance measurement, not to confuse, not to mix the things with FR, ratios and interpretation. Here performance measurement aspect is comparatively different with F7. It's not like F7 ratios and interpretation. The topic is about investor perspective. If you're watching the live video or recording, ask yourself at that point, if you are an accountant, so, and your responsibility is to make the financial statement, so to whom or for what purpose you are making the financial statement? You must have to answer yourself that I am making the financial statement for user of the financial statement. For example, user are the shareholders, user are the debt holders, because they wanted to know that how much, they wanted to know the performance of the company. They wanted to know that the position of the company. That's the point. Here, examiner expect that whenever you are answering the performance measurement area of the exam of SBR exam, you must have to draft answer not as an accountant, but as investor. Not an accountant, but as investor. So, if I say that F3, FR or accounting standard, we always study with respect to accounting, with respect to accountant. But here the position will change. For example, if IS 40 says that there are two possible models, cost model and fair value model. So cost model, as accountant, I know that, you know that, cost model means just report the investment property at a cost, with the historical cost and consistent depreciation on a regular basis. But on the other hand, fair value model always report with the updated balance sheet date fair value amount. And no depreciation, but all the fair value adjustment must be reported with the income statement as fair value adjustment. So these are two accounting treatment, two possible accounting treatment. So this is what the answer about accounting perspective. But think about that. If if an accountant report with the cost model, so how the situation, how the report used by the user to make decision making, or if we report as fair value, so how the investor use the information. Let's say if I am the user of the financial statement and I am observing the cost model, so cost model is not updated with the fair value, but the depreciation is consistent. Book values is regularly in a consistent manner declining, assuming a straight line method. In case of fair value, it's good that the updated values here. It's updated values here. But the point, updated values, reporting date. But the fair value adjustment sometimes increase, sometimes decrease. So situation is something bumpy. Increase, decrease, increase, decrease, increase, decrease. That's something rocky. That is not consistent. So maybe fair value model is updated, but for user, they are confused because user use the financial statement for decision making. For example, I am shareholder. I wanted to use the financial statement for decision making to hold the shares or to sell the shares. So this is what a basic example. The difference of thinking, the difference of views as accountant or as investor. So that's the point. So this is performance measurement, that's investor perspective. A lot of things need to cover with respect to performance measurement, and believe me, this is very much interesting areas. So this is about accounting, investor perspective, accounting standard implications, something the topic about APM, alternative performance measurement. A small point, user not only rely the financial statement as performance measurement. User wants some more information other than financial statement. Ask yourself, if you are a shareholder of any company, ask yourself, is the financial statement, income statement, balance sheet, cash flows, all these things are good enough to observe or to identify the company's performance? Answer is no. Financial statements are not enough to portray the actual picture of the business, to make a decision making about the companies as an investor. Some more information investor expect. So here more information other than accounting standard. In the real world there are possibilities. And the other method of the performance measurement of the company, that is called the topic alternative performance measurement. That is the topic called alternative performance measurement. Sustainable reporting, we will cover later. That's a very important topic. Once again, in the today's world, after the pandemic, every investor wants that not just to know that what happened in the past of the business, that is financial statement. Every investor just not wanted to know that what happened in the past, that is financial statement, but also wanted to know that what about the sustainability of the business. So how the business is sustainable in the future. So business investor expect to make some reporting from the business, from the management about the sustainability of the business, about the future of the business. So this is something about very important with this area of the syllabus. Integrated reporting we will discuss later on. Management commentary, all these things are interlinked with respect to investor perspective. Examiner expectation. So that is what I have covered. That's one thing is accountant perspective, once again recording, presenting, reporting transaction. But investor perspective is something different. Analysis for decision making, that's the key point. So two different ways you need to think. Whenever you are answering accounting standard, always think in a manner of accounting. But whenever you are answering the question for investor perspective, you have to answer the question with investor perspective. Sorry, whenever you are answering the question of performance measurement, you have to answer as investor. So that's the point. Examiner expectations. What are the examiner expectations here? The SBR, once again, this portion is actually just copy paste from the examiner document. That's important. This is the examiner document. The SBR exam will require candidates to adopt stakeholder perspectives in answering some question. That's the point. So I hope that it's very much clear what is about investor perspective. But what insight we will cover later. Current developments. So this is the last topic. The first topic, accounting standard. Number 2, conceptual framework. Number 3, ethics. Number 4, investor perspective, that's performance measurement. Number 5, current developments. Current developments about these 3 points. SBR current development topics having the scope of 3 parts. Number 1, new developments of the new accounting standards or the changes in the accounting standard. The first point. Number 2, new business development and accounting implications. New business development, for example, digital currencies, cryptocurrency, let's suppose. What the implications, accounting implications. So real world scenario connect with accounting implications. Climate change, new business development, impact to the business. So maybe affect to the impairment, more impairment losses, more chances of the impairment losses. That's about accounting implications. Pandemic. So new business developments and accounting implications. So number 1, new accounting standard. Number 2, new business developments and accounting implications. Number 3, sustainable reporting. Because with investor community, a lot of demands generating about the reporting related to the future aspect of the companies. So how the companies become sustainable. So for this point, accounting standard and different community of the world, different regulations of the world, different councils of the world now have started working about the sustainable reporting. So this is again the current development. So that's very important. So if something study about the new accounting standard, do remember, for new accounting standard, examiner never expect that you have a very depth knowledge what is going to change. For example, not right now, it's not the part of the syllabus, but in future, that will be the part of the syllabus because IFRS 18 is coming very soon, which will replace IS 1. So what examiner will expect here? Not exactly right now, this is not the part of the current development of ACCA right now accordingly, but it's just for the example. If something coming soon, so at what the, and if I said that IFRS 18 is actually, will be, IFRS 18 will be the replacement of IS 1. So the question is that what are the deficiencies with respect to IS 1? Which will overcome by IFRS 18. So we need to develop ability to critique the IS 1, whatever the issues. So examiner never expect that something very in-depth knowledge, just a basic knowledge about that. Exactly. At that point, IFRS 18 and the replacement of IS 1 is not the syllabus area, but other things we will cover. For example, You know very well, leases of IFRS 16 replaced the IAS 17. So actually what the deficiencies with the IAS 17, that's overcome by the IFRS 16. And lot of things that we will cover accordingly. Number 2, examiner, with the new development of the accounting standard, this is the checklist. For example, with the IAS 1, I made a basic discussion. IAS 1, IFRS 15, IFRS 2, IFRS 37, IFRS 8, IFRS 3, IAS 7. These are what? These are actually accounting standard where new development aspects are considerable. So we will cover a document in the later on. Examiner particularly mentioned that there will not be a complete single question. It's never possible for any current development a complete single question of the new accounting standard. Examiner only expect the basic principles. Detail insight will never examine. New business development, accounting implications like digital asset, natural disaster, climate change, global events, that pandemic, going concern, these are the aspects need to consider. Exam scope always integrated. Integrate with the part, not independent. Sustainable reporting, we will cover later on in detail, as I referred earlier. What about the sustainable reporting with respect to the investor? Exam scope integrated. Students, that is what about the phase of syllabus insights and examiner expectations. Examiner expectations. Now, the second important point, what about the SBR exam format? What about the SBR exam format? SBR exam format based on 2 sections, section A, section B. Section A, question number 1, 30 marks. Question number 2, 20 marks. Section B, question number 3, question number 4, each having 25 marks. Section A, question number 1, 30 marks, it's about group accounts and a little bit about other syllabus areas. But question number 1, 30 marks, out of 30 marks, major area belongs to group accounts. Question number 2, accounting issues with ethical implications. And ethics integrate with accounting implications about 9 to 11 marks. 9 to 11 marks. Section B is unstructured. What do you mean by unstructured? Because section A know that question 1, 30 marks group, some other accounting standards or other issues. Section A, question 2, ethics and ethical implications. But section B is totally unstructured. 25 marks, 2 questions, case based. Any part of the syllabus. Performance measurement examined with the section B part question. Not independent but integrated. Another important point. Total 100 marks. Total 100 marks. 4 professional marks, 96 technical marks. With SBR, only 4 professional marks. And 4 professional marks, 2 of the professional marks about ethics, how to develop and deal the ethical issue. And further 2 professional skill marks about performance measurement, either question 3 or 4. Believe me, these are very easy to catch this 4 marks. These are in your pockets. But the condition is that you have to obey my orders. How to handle the questions. Further, what are the SBR changes? Students, SBR changes key points. Number 1, the changes belongs to question number 1 is structure. Question number 1 is structure. Question number 1 is structure. There are no change in syllabus content. The change belongs to question number 1 structure. Question number 1 is structure. That's about something pre-populated. Consolidated accounts already given in the question. Either consolidated balance sheet or consolidated income statement or consolidated cash flow. You have to address the consolidated accounts. Rectify the consolidated accounts. Right now we don't have enough time to cover in detail what inside the changes, but you can get a complete details of the SBR new changes with this YouTube video. That's available with my YouTube channel. You can watch that particular video. If you wanted to get link of that video, you can ask with the Escribir team, or the team will provide you the link. Otherwise, you can just search my YouTube channel, Hussain Qazi, and you will easily find this video, SBR changes. So that includes complete aspects, what inside the changes. Now students, what are the study approach of the SBR? What are the study approach of the SBR? What should be the right study approach for the SBR to get success with the first exam attempt? Study approach. Number one, read the examiner mind. Number 2, once you read the examiner mind, you will be able to identify the examiner expectations. And then the examiner expectations, actually you will be able to identify based on examiner statements. So read the mind, identify the examiner expectation through examiner statements. Now come on. Number 1, examiner particularly mentioned that you have to develop the study approach that this exam is not about only accounting standard. This exam is not only about the accounting standard, but more than accounting standard. This is first statement. So my first guideline to you, that balance approach. Balance approach, balance approach, balance approach. What does that mean? This means if you have decided to invest 100 hours for SBR study. So I have analyzed and mentioned with this slide. You have to invest your time with this balance. What balance? According to the exam weightage. Based on the past papers, it's my observation, it's complete analysis, almost 55 to 60% of the exam belongs to IFRS. 8 to 10% examiner examine conceptual paper. 7 to 10% examiner examine ethical implications. 8 to 10% examine performance measurement. 10 to 12% current development. Simple statement. Have to invest your time with this proportion. What normally you do mistake? You normally do mistake that you invest your time in a wrong proportion. 90 or 95% time you invest with the accounting standard. And just quickly read and in a very rushed manner, just cover the rest of the 4 syllabus area. And you go to the examination hall and you observe that examiner examined with this proportion, and that particular point you bounce back and student not able to qualify exam. So number 1 study approach is balance approach. Number 2, have to develop the ability to explain your working. Examiner statement. 80 to 85% paper, it's about to draft your answer. This is second statement. Explain working. What does that mean? For example, once again this example. For example, British Airways, you are an accountant. What examiner expect to you? For example, this transaction happens. Renovation. Examiner expect that you have to develop ability to explain your answer. You have to develop ability to explain your answer. Explain your answer. It's not about just to calculate answer. So drafting ability is second point. Number one, balance approach. Number two, drafting ability. Number three, some of the answer, your position, your mind works not as an accountant but investor. So here the statement. Here the statement. Investor perspective. Statement 3. So examiner mindset about statement 3, something about accounting perspective, but here the investor perspective. So you have to think some of the answers about investor perspective. This example I have already covered. For example, the investment property, the accounting perspective, that's cost model or fair value model. But investor perspective, cost model, that's income statement, depreciation consistent, statement of financial position, carrying amount reduced in a constant manner. Cost model, consistent and smooth approach. But fair value model, fair value adjustment, not consistent, statement of financial position, investment property, that not reduced in a consistent manner. So most updated, but investor says that that's inconsistent. So investor perspective. So 3, you have to develop your mindset. Number 1, balance approach. Number 2, drafting ability. Number 3, investor perspective. Some of the question about investor perspective. This is what examiner statements. What are the real challenges and how to overcome? Simple, not very much complicated. Syllabus coverage 100% is a real challenge. Very extensive syllabus. Very extensive syllabus. So coverage of syllabus is a real challenge, and extensive syllabus revision is also a challenge. Do remember, revision is equally important as the knowledge you initially gathering. Without revision, it's not possible to pass your exam. And revision includes the practice of the question. Number 2, exam practice with the CB format and time management, and drafting the answer. These are the real challenge. Syllabus 100% coverage and exam practice. How to overcome? The solution is that you have to cover 100% syllabus and simultaneously make practice. If someone says that, no, I will first complete the syllabus, then start practice. No, don't do that. The solution is simultaneous work. For example, you have splitted your syllabus area into 10 components. So cover the first 2 components, then practice the question accordingly. Then again 2 more syllabus area, then practice the question. So practicing question, coverage of syllabus in a parallel manner, that is called simultaneous work. Do remember, one thing is called exam practice, but I believe that it's not about practice, it's about exam simulation. You have to simulate your exam. You have to simulate your exam. Simulate means, if with my course it's mentioned that December 2020, question number 4 you need to attend and submit to my email, 25 marks. So you have a responsibility for 25 marks, multiply by 1.8 minutes for each mark. You have, for example, 45 to 50 minutes. So you have to open the CB format, open the system, open the CB format, lock the timer, switch off the mobile, means avoid distraction, and start working. Irrespectively, what will happen at the end of 50th minute? Fearless working. You have to attend the question in exam condition. Exam condition means avoid distraction, switch off mobile, shut down the door, open the system, CB format, start. Do practice in this manner, that is called simulation. And mark my word, after 10-12 questions, you will feel the difference. Regular Your evaluation is the key component. Submission of assignment, mocks, that's a key point. So cover these challenges. Number one, simultaneous working. Number two, exam simulation. Number three, evaluation your progress. Assignment based and mock based. You will get qualify your exam. SBR passing rate is the highest motivation factor. It's almost 50%. The highest motivation to pass the SBR exam is that the success rate is 50%, approx 50%. Highest motivation. That's a point. These are the checklists of the past exam papers. I don't suggest that go for kit. Just get the knowledge from the lectures, and from my lectures you will be able to get the knowledge plus previous questions, and then your revision kit actually these 14 papers, 14 plus these 3 more papers. These are the past exam papers. You have to practice with the CV format. SBR with Hussain Qazi at Escribir platform. We have premium videos where the concept building, practice questions, 100% course notes, suggested answers. We will provide you the suggested answers as well. We have a weekly fixed meetings. Escribir team will share you the exact date, assignments and the feedbacks, plus mocks and the feedbacks. I will work out for the 3 mocks with this time. 3 mocks, 1 mid mock, 2 further mocks at 10 days before the exam. So learning outcome, that's called the syllabus knowledge, practice questions, drafting technique with our course. Knowledge, you will be able to get knowledge. You will be able to know that how to practice the question. We will support you for the drafting techniques, smart exam techniques, how to catch marks, how to easily pass the exam, and of course examiner report analysis, very key component. Your frequently asked questions, you can ask the question anytime, but these are the frequently asked questions. What study text required for SBR preparation? No study text required, only the notes and my practice material. No study text. What revision kit required for SBR preparation? No revision kit required. My practice material and the SBR past exam paper from September 18 till December 23 past exam paper of ACCA SBR. That's all. What technical articles? Not all technical articles are relevant, but during the course we will provide you the guideline that what technical articles you need to read and all the things. How to access lectures and when the lectures will be available through the Escribir portal, through the LMS, and available till the exam date. How submit assignment, mocks, and able to get feedbacks. You need to submit your assignments in the mock exam with my email address sbrby.hussainkhazi@gmail.com, and within 3 days you will be able to get feedbacks. How the live session will conduct and what are the timings? Every Saturday 7 p.m. Every Saturday 7 p.m. meet up with Hussain Qazi for your queries, for some little bit motivation, little bit practice, all these things. What are the key variables to get success of the exam? Video lectures, notes, assignments, motivation, all these things. How much proportion of SBR exam with theory calculation? Almost 80 to 85%. Theory, rest of the part calculation. Question number 1 with new development, 14 to 15 marks calculation, rest theory. Roadmap, it's about videos, notes, assignments, mocks, progress evaluation, motivation, positive mindset. So this is all about that. At last, I must say that You have to motivate yourself for the SBR preparation. So if you wanted to enroll with our course, you can contact with the Escribir team. You have any question, you can ask me. Thank you very much. Take care a lot. So if you wanted to start the journey of the SBR with me, you can contact with the Escribir team. Thank you very much. Take care a lot. Assalamu alaikum.